And I play Ultimate Frisbee.
I play Ultimate Frisbee.
I play Ultimate Frisbee.
And I've played Ultimate for 3 years now.
And I started Guppy a few months ago, and now I'm on the board of directors. I think that playing with men just made me realize the differences between playing in a mixed setting, the inequities between mixed and women's and open and women's.
For me, it's not as difficult because I've made a name for myself in the Ultimate community. I've been around for quite some time, so it's like they already know that I can do good and they know that I can do so much. As for my teammates, my female teammates who either have just started or have only played for so long and they have not yet made that impact, and the boys don't see them as a fellow competitor, they just see them as like baggage almost, kind of like, oh, like she's here because she has to play, not like we want her to be here, you know?
So a lot of the time, I feel like usually it was the girls that brought it up, but kind of overall everybody, how some of the boys that were handlers who threw the disc weren't throwing it to girls as much specifically, and so I think that was probably one of the biggest issues, and it was a whole just kind of thing on trust and trusting each other as teammates and working as a team.
I remember the first ever game I played on a summer league. It was a mixed team, and I had like played 2 games of Ultimate before, and I dropped the disc that a guy threw at me, and he laughed at me, and it made me nervous to play Ultimate like the rest of the season on that team.
I am afraid to mess up while playing with boys because I have seen a lot when girls mess up in mixed games, they aren't thrown to anymore, or the coach will take them out, or they just aren't like used anymore or just looked off because people are afraid that she's going to make, or not people, but boys are afraid that she's going to make another mistake, like that kind of thing. Like they don't even give her a second chance.
Within the mixed team, like I struggled a lot with the way that I was spoken to by my male teammates and my coaches, the way that, you know, playing time, or no, like plays on the field were like sometimes dangerous or like were very like male-centered, and I think that was like a big wake-up call for me, like, oh, like I feel really frustrated because I'm not being utilized, and I think that's because I'm a woman.
It's been really difficult because I feel like I'm not listened to on the field, and I feel like I'm looked down on the players, and I never get thrown to, and when I do, it's always a surprise if I catch it to the boys, and it's really, really frustrating to like be a woman playing with men. And like not being respected in the way that the other boys are.
They didn't feel as connected to the team in general, and they weren't getting as much playing time, so therefore they weren't getting involved in the game as much, which makes perfect sense, but that's definitely one thing that would occur in games, and so the competitiveness kind of decreased overall if it was a co-ed game on both teams.
I want to say give us a chance, but we shouldn't even have to say that. They should just acknowledge us on the field, see us as equals to them, and understand that we're all here for the same reason to play Ultimate Frisbee. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl.
I think the boys need to hold each other accountable because I think they definitely can notice it on the field, and I think they need to hold each other accountable and make sure that they are throwing to the women, and they're making sure, like making extra efforts to include the women into, they're making extra efforts to include the women like in the game.
Well, the thing that we as players can do more and as coaches can do more is definitely push equity a lot more in schools and in sports, especially Ultimate, to maybe have more clinics to show boys like, hey, equity matters, this is what you can do and this is what you need to do, and instead of just giving them, or not giving them the tools, but telling them this is what you have to do, but actually enforcing it, and if they don't do it, then there has to be consequences.
Just acknowledging that there is a difference and that boys are treating us that way, and you know, refusing to throw the disc sometimes, or waiting to see if we can prove ourselves, and just acknowledging that there is a difference in the dynamics between the way boys play and girls play, and holding them accountable for actions.
The coaches and all the adults surrounding Ultimate need to make sure that they are holding men accountable for their actions. There needs to be like punitive like repercussions that will like occur because they're not treating us with the equity and the respect that we deserve as players.
But I'd like to see the guys and take part in that and see more men stand up and say, hey, there's a difference between this and we need to fix these problems here.
Male allies, I challenge you to stand up when you think something is happening that's inequitable, to say something when you hear sexist language, to ask your female teammates if there's anything you can do to help, to be vocal about how awesome and powerful women are on social media, to be an example of what allyship looks like in the Ultimate community.
Throughout like the games and things like that, they need to make sure that they're giving us our own space to play at the best that we can, and we need to be held up to the levels that the boys are. People need to think that, or the coaches need to believe in us that we are going to work and that we can work and we can play just as hard as the boys can.
Trust in the team, and so I think just really just working on strategy and working together would help. I've heard of different organizations, but I'm not too sure on their name or like what they do.
GUPPI stands for Girl Ultimate Players Initiative, and it's an organization dedicated to promoting and advocating for the female identifying and non-binary women's players in Minnesota. So there's a few different aspects of that. The first is just supporting the women who do play as much as possible. Promoting them on social media, showing them that there's support in the community, hosting events for them, highlighting them. And then the other aspect of that is trying to grow the amount of women's players in Minnesota by hosting clinics, working with college and club teams to encourage longevity of play, and raising money so that women can play in YCC and play in league and work out in the off season. Trying to increase the competitiveness of the women's division, and also like highlighting how competitive it already is.
There's GUPPI that was just started this year, and there's Girls Ultimate movement, and there's a lot of people trying to get Girls Ultimate as popular as men, like Boys Ultimate.
GUPPI stands for Girls Ultimate Player Initiative, and it was started by 2 players from Great River, and it's basically just a program that our mission is to help girls in Ultimate, just give them the tools to succeed and to help them succeed, and push that equity is very important in the Ultimate community, and just make it a better place for girls to be in, basically.
I would definitely just say to have an open mindset and open ears to what they have to say, because if they're saying their problems and stating them, and they might not even seem like huge things to fix, but if they're on the agenda, just get them over with, and it'll just make it overall better. So just being open to it, the discussion.
This project is supported in part by an award from the National Endowment for the Arts, on the web at arts.gov.